and you're listening to Communities Live on Sheffield Live Radio 93.2 FM with me, Susie Casson. T-Boy's making lots of tea today, and we're joined in the studio by Jon from Reach Homes.
Hello.
Welcome, Jon. Thanks for coming in. So can you first of all tell us a bit about your background?
Yeah, 26 years in the police, which showed me a lot of things, including a lot of social unfairness and a lot of people who get stuck in positions they're not happy with. And I'm fortunate now. I took early retirement in 2011 and I'm now in a position to try and do something about that for a certain number of those people, which is why I set the project up.
Fantastic. So you're involved with Reach Homes. How did the idea originate?
My partner and I were looking to build a house for ourselves. We were looking at alternatives to traditional methods of housing, and the idea of shipping containers came up. We were both keen on doing something different, and it kind of went from there, really. We costed up the one that we wanted to do, and taking that down to a 2 or 3 bedroom worked out that it was going to be a proper solution to affordable housing. So took it from there. Got some funding from Unlimited in London, and bought a 40-foot container, which we've turned into a prototype up at Healy City Farm, and thanks to them for lending us the land. But we're looking at the technical issues, because apparently nobody in the world has tried to insulate it the way we're doing it with a thing called passive house insulation, and it mechanically ventilates the space and puts a huge amount of insulation on the outside, so it keeps all the heat inside. So it doesn't need central heating. It relies on free solar energy, so it produces 90% of its own power. And as a result of that, they're probably 80-90% cheaper to run than a traditional house. So not only are they cheap to buy, they're cheap to run as well, so save on the lifetime cost.
That's incredible. I think my first question was about a container. How warm is it going to be in?
That's the first thing people think, is it's going to be freezing cold in winter and boiling hot in the summer, but that's why you put all the insulation on. So again, thanks to the people at Majid Medina Mosque on Wolseley Road, who, when they were having their roof taken off, allowed us to take all the insulation away from there. So that's all stuck on the outside of the container now. And we've used 84% recycled materials, including that, to convert this one container into a 1-bedroom studio flat, which is going to be our show home and sales office when we launch it on the 29th of January. We'll just give that a plug. 1 till 4 on the afternoon of Sunday, 29th of January. Everybody's welcome to come along and have a look and see what we've done with the place.
Great, and that's at Healy City Farm.
Yes, it is, right next to the South Yorkshire Energy Centre, who've been fantastic partners as well. Sheffield's the ideal place to do this, I think, with the expertise at the university and all the green expertise that we've got in buildings around the city. We really want to make this a flagship project for the city. And put Sheffield at the forefront of eco-housing in Europe if we can, while we're still part of it.
Yeah.
Let's not go on that one.
Fantastic. So these are affordable, very ecologically friendly housing.
Yep, that's the idea.
Can you describe what one looks like?
Well, at the moment, it still looks a little bit like a shipping container, but we've got the renderer coming on Monday to start putting a render on the outside, and we're building some green roof boxes to go on the top of it, and then it'll have solar panels on top of that as well. So it's a 40-foot shipping container cut in half, but it doesn't look like a big metal box. It looks like a nice, cosy single-storey flat, basically. And when we get our first piece of land, and we're talking to 5 separate organisations about some land and some funding, and we'll be building as many as we can. So the 1-bedroom ones will sell for $35,000 plus the cost of the land, which should add another couple of thousand onto that probably. The 2-bedroom ones will be about $65,000. And the 3-bedroom about $90,000, and that's a full spec eco home with all the green technology we can ram into it. So we're trying to do housing a different way from what it's traditionally been done. So we're trying to give the maximum amount of house for the minimum amount of money, because we are a not-for-profit organisation, so we're not looking to make a lot of money out of it for ourselves. There's no huge profit margin built into it. There's enough to grow the business and to produce a profit for us to be able to help charities and other third sector organisations. We want to help them tackle homelessness and energy poverty. So the whole thing is a circular economy of good. So we're using a lot of recycled material. We're creating job opportunities and training up apprentices and work experience people. 84% recycled material we've used on this build, and we're looking to keep it all local and just lower the amount of energy that goes into the buildings, put as much carbon into them as we can. To lower the carbon footprint, because we're still trying to meet those very tough carbon targets that were agreed to at the Paris climate talks. So we're hoping to be part of a lot of solutions here.
Yeah, and I had a look at some on the internet, and they're really light as well. A lot of windows and doors seem to be a lot of glass.
Yeah, we've tried to get as much glass in as we can because the sunlight coming through the window in itself produces heat, as anybody who's been inside somewhere in the summer will know. But we manage that with the insulation and with the ventilation that we've got inside it, and that will create a nice, like I say, light, cosy environment inside and a nice steady temperature throughout the year. They're hooked up to the mains, so you're never going to be left without power. They're entirely electric. Although I say that they produce 90% of their own power, and we're looking at the battery storage options for that as well. So nobody will ever run out of power and light, but it's a cheap option.
Sounds like an amazing idea. So the prototype is at Healy City Farm. Have you got plans to build more already? Yes,
we've got an extensive business plan with a number of options depending on how we go on with funding and backing. I say we're talking to 5 separate landowners at the moment. And there are more coming. So yeah, I'm hoping to build as many as we can because the demand, I think, will be huge. Anybody that's in rented accommodation wants to own their own place and pay less than they are doing in rent. People downsizing who want a smaller property and go off and travel around the world or whatever. Students, people in rural communities, they appeal to a huge range of buyers potentially.
Yeah, brilliant. So as you say, a lot of people are hoping to buy their own home, and it's very difficult to do so for a lot of people. Why do you think we've got in this situation?
I think there's a chronic undersupply of building, and the government and the house builders have been complicit in the way this supply has been strangled over the last few years, I think. And I don't know whether that's been done deliberately to push prices up, but the combination of not enough properties being built, a lot of the ones that are, and certainly a lot of the rented properties, are not of a decent standard, and there are just, I think 150,000 too few homes in Yorkshire and Humber on a recent survey. And that's not including the 70,000 extra houses that they want to build as part of the Northern Powerhouse and all the people that are going to be coming up into this area to work on the big infrastructure projects like HS2. It's just been a systemic failure of joined-up thinking on housing supply. Yeah. So there's now an opportunity for us to go in and fill this void, and to do it with, instead of the traditional way that house builders have been supplying property, which is... everybody knows how difficult it is to find a new house at a reasonable price, and certainly if you're in rented, saving up £35,000 for a deposit on a new property is just unachievable for a lot of people. So we're trying to change that system around altogether. We're looking to provide our own finance within 2 or 3 years, and also do social housing, shared ownership, a variety of options, so that as many people as possible can have a home of their own.
Yeah, sounds fantastic. So the launch event is on
Sunday the 29th.
Sunday the 29th, and from 1 till 4.
That's right, yeah.
Brilliant. So anyone who's interested can come along?
Yeah, please come along. It's an open site, so if anybody's passing in the meantime, welcome to stick their head around the door, and the guys are always happy to knock off work and explain what they're doing for a few minutes. But yeah, it's going to be 95% done for then, and we've just got some finishing off issues to do. But yeah, we're really pleased with the way it's gone over the last 6 months. Yeah, well, anybody's welcome to come along and see for themselves. I think it's the best way. Come and see how cosy it feels, and it certainly doesn't feel anything like a shipping container when you're inside it.
Great, lovely. I'm sure there'll be a lot of interest for that. Thank you. So how can people keep in touch?
Right, we're on our website, reachhomes.org, on the web, or we're Reach Homes on Facebook. Or if anybody wants to pop into Strip the Willow on Abbeydale Road, that's my other business. And there's a display down there and some leaflets explaining what it's about. Or anybody's welcome to get in touch with me direct, and my phone number's plastered over any of the advertising stuff. So yeah. Welcome. We have opened a pre-waiting list now, just to judge the kind of interest I think we're going to have. So there are details of that on the Reach Home site on Facebook and on the website. So if anybody wants to get an early expression of interest, we can't guarantee that will secure them a home, but it will help us out with talking to investors and the landowners where we're hoping to build the land. If we have an idea that there's going to be a massive demand, that'll help to persuade